tonight. Tom's had the passion for aviation since he was young, and not only did he find a way to weave aviation into the fabric of his life, but through his movie Top Gun, has been able to share that passion with others.
I'm glad I could make it because I was shooting, and I kept telling him I got to get here. So I'm very happy to be here. And I started out as a kid. We traveled a little bit, and there were two things that I always traveled with that I had to have in order to be able to take my nap when I was 3, 4 years old. And it was two pictures. One was of a P-51, the other one was a Spitfire. And anywhere I went, I had to have those things as I was taking. It was the only way I could take my nap. And I was involved in Top Gun. I was making a picture in England with Ridley Scott, and he said, you got to meet my brother Tony Scott. And Tony Scott was the director of Top Gun. And so I went to the studio to meet, read the script. I had a different feeling about the script than Clay did. It needed a little work. But I remember spending a whole afternoon with Jerry Bruckheimer and Tony Scott going through photos of aviation and the history of aviation, and what Tony wanted to do with the film. A lot of photos books that I had studied myself. And at this time, I actually didn't have my license. It was a dream of mine, but I didn't have the money, and then I started working and time. But I'd always had this deep passion for flight and aviation. And so I said, okay, there's a couple of things I was thinking, I'm going to make this movie no matter what. I didn't tell them that right away. But I said I have to fly. If you guys can get it so I can fly with the Blue Angels, and I want minimum 3 hops in the F-14, and you've got to film it with me shooting in the F-14. I kept throwing these things down. So fortunately, it all worked out, and we were allowed. I don't know how we were allowed to do some of the stuff we were allowed to do in those airplanes and what those pilots were doing. But tonight it's great because I get to, Chris Boomer Wilson, who worked on the film with me, is here. Tom Skerritt is here. I just don't want to say hey to you guys. I hadn't seen Boomer's 25 years since we shot Top Gun. But anyway, when I started filming beforehand, I went down to Miramar, and it was everything that I hoped it would be, and then some. I was really embraced by the community. I went through flight training. I made it through the Officers Club. As we all know, everyone here where Vegas got their marketing tagline, what stays in the O Club, what happens in the O Club stays in the O Club. So you're safe tonight, Boomer, don't worry. Okay. But it was incredible because by the time we did the aerial photography of me in the F-14 at the end of filming, and my first flight that day, I had 3 hops actually in the F-14, which was extraordinary. And so I ate a huge breakfast that morning. I got out, I went through the flight training, the ejector training and everything. And I'll never forget, I got in, I was so excited and a little nervous about what this is going to be like. I'd already done the Blue Angels flight. But I remember I kind of caught my pilot's name. We're going down the taxiway, the lights are flashing. I'm kind of asking, what's this light? Why is that red light going? He says, no, don't worry about it. And I said, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. And he said, Bozo. I said, excuse me, I can't hear you, Bozo. Okay, so, all right, Bozo. So we had 5 minutes of film in the camera, and very specific things that we had to shoot, and then the rest was full fuel, where the pilot could just do whatever he wanted to do. So in the morning, we flew over the desert, speeds that we weren't supposed to be flying at the deck where we weren't supposed to be flying that low. Studios love hearing about all the stuff we do, and insurance companies that go a little crazy. But first, I remember it was heavy kind of ACM maneuvers, and I said, look, just tell me before you're going to do something. Just so that, we're rolling and I'm ready. And I was thinking, I don't want people to have, different expressions on the camera. Back in Russia's, they tease you for certain things. So I'll never forget, he was just doing, he was snapping back and forth. And I remember at one point, really the G suit filling up, and of course vision goes, and we're pulling about 9.5, 10 Gs. And I loved it, but there was a moment where my stomach was not quite as thrilled as I was. And I remember having the plastic bags on both sides. I was ready, in my flight suit. So I didn't tell Bozo what I was doing. There's an A4 over there. We finished the shot, and I said, quickly, I'm just going to get this over with. And I reached down to the plastic bag and quickly, hurled in it. And then, but I was down, doing it to get it over and trying to get it done, tie the bag and slip it back in my flight suit. And while I was down, Bozo decides to do, a steep climb and a turn. And of course, I think my spine, it was like 6 inches of expansion of the G-force down as I'm choking on, and my head is now between my legs, and my helmet is hitting the floor. And I'm trying to reach my foot over to hit the button so I'm saying, oh, Bozo! And finally he snaps out, levels off, and we're going. And I sit up, I hit that, I said, man, didn't you see that I wasn't in, you were supposed to look before you do that? And he said, of course, well, that's why they call me Bozo. So I said, all right, and I quickly tucked it away in my flight suit, actually held it up to the A4, all the guys were cheering, congratulating Bozo. Tucked it in, but I had 2 incredible flights also after that. That was extraordinary. And we had that day I flew twice the speed of sound at high altitude, peeling over the egg and just floating down to earth. And it was singularly the most extraordinary experience of my life and a dream come true to be able to fly. And years later, I was able to get my pilot's license. I fly aerobatics, and I was fortunate enough to be in possession of a P-51 that was part of the Tuskegee Airmen Squadron, the training squadron. And I feel that the responsibility of that to share it with others. And I love being a pilot. I love this community. You're really, they get excited about the fact that, you're interested. There's always the conversations that I've had. I've been able to spend time with Bob Hoover and to have him take me through the P-51 and to hear his experiences when he's, the troubles that he's had have certainly saved me. And the times that I've spent flying with John and with Kurt, Matt, just extraordinary people. And my son is fond of aviation. I think that aviation is really represents the foundation of America, the innovation, the ingenuity, the audacity to dream and then to make those dreams a reality. So I'm very honored to be part of this community and be part of this night. I thank you all very much. Thank you.